'cause I'm your host, Dr. Wolfula, and when I'm not watching Jennifer Tilly films for some reason, I'm here at the Wolfula reviewing movies. Ahhctober continues, and speaking of Jennifer Tilly movies, a new Chucky sequel is out in red boxes and Netflix's now. The misleadingly titled Cult of Chucky. Spoilers, there's not much of a cult in this movie, unless you count saying the word cult a few times as there being a cult.
And the cult is growing all the time.
In which case, there's totally a cult in Cult of Chucky. Cult of Chucky is once again brought to us by series creator and guy who really wants you to know he created Chucky, Don Mancini. Don Mancini has mostly only done Chucky movies since the series began, so everything you love and hate about the series is thanks to him. Cult of Chucky is a direct sequel to its predecessor, Curse of Chucky, and has no recap, even though there's a 4-year gap between the two films. Come on, even TV shows have a recap for last week's episode.
Last week on Seinfeld.
Cult picks up with paraplegic Nika, played by Fiona Dourif, as she's admitted into a new mental hospital after being blamed for Chucky's murders of her family. Nika is even made to believe she committed those crimes.
He was a fantasy, a delusion.
He was a mask I wore so I could go on looking in the mirror.
Victims of killer dolls suffer the worst discrimination. Anyway, the facility she winds up in looks like a leftover set from THX 1138, and I half expect to see Steve Jobs' ghost pop out and tell me about the new iPhone. Inside the facility, Nika meets all kinds of quirky, psychologically impaired people, like this dude with multiple personalities, or a woman who believes she's a ghost.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Thank God. None of the others can see me.
When you're crazy, you need to have a gimmick. Oh, a little bit of trivia. This film was shot in Canada, which becomes immediately apparent the first time you hear the new actors pronounce the word sorry.
Okay, better safe than sorry, that's what I say.
I'm sorry.
Damn Canucks! Pronounce words right! What would have been a cozy life in solitude inside this sterile building is shattered when Nika's doctor, Foley, introduces a Chucky doll to her therapy that he bought from Hot Topic.
Where'd you get it?
Hot Topic.
I joke a lot about Hot Topic, but I'm not joking about that. To make matters worse, Nika receives a familiar visitor bearing news that Nika's little sister Alice is dead and also bears another Chucky doll. This can only mean one thing. Dr. Foley wasted money on that first doll. Tragic.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
That's not the same.
No. This is a doll that they used in Alice's therapy to help her get over the past.
So, there are two Chucky dolls, one adopted by a patient who really loves kids, and the other in Dr. Foley's office, but it's clear that one of them is the killer doll we're accustomed to, and is up to his old tricks. And by tricks, I mean killing people, of course. Cult of Chucky is among the goriest chapters in its series, but that might also be all it has going for it. Chucky's victims in this film are all either restrained, apathetic, incapacitated, or just plain unaware of his presence. There's little suspense or action in this flick. You kind of see what'll happen next because it's laid out in front of you. This film lacks the cat and mouse chase of all the previous entries, reducing the film to being far more of a simple gore fest. The gore is really good in this flick, I'll give it that, but the other key effect is pretty lacking. The Chucky puppets in Cult don't really cut it. I mean, they cut a lot of things, but they don't cut it.
I am a vintage, mass-marketed children's toy from the 80s, standing right in front of you, holding a very sharp scalpel.
Ever since the series skipped theaters, the puppetry seems to have taken a nosedive. The puppets lack expressiveness in their faces, and are animated in an almost Muppet-like fashion, becoming subject to plenty of unflattering camera angles as well. Chucky just looks far too stiff in this movie, ultimately resulting in unintentional comedy in a lot of moments. There was another movie, I think it was called Jaws, that had a lousy shark puppet. You know how little Stevie Spielberg solved that problem? He didn't show it that much.
Jesus. Fucking cuckoo's nest.
Coming out of watching this movie, I just don't know what the point of it was beyond trotting Chucky out again for another buck. The flick introduces a lot of new ideas to the series that are underexplored here, feeling like this film is a stepping point to a bigger movie.
What an ugly doll.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play? Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
For instance, Andy, Chucky's original nemesis, returns in this movie, having last appeared in what I thought was just a one-off post-credits joke that turns out to be totally canon. We get a Halloween H2O-like look into Andy's life, as he fails to forge meaningful relationships due to his dark past, and whittles his time away getting high with Chucky's dismembered head. Okay, much of the film is spent on Andy's subplot, feeling like it's building up to some final grand conclusion, but it ends on an anticlimax. You could totally cut out all of Andy's scenes without consequence because he has no effect on what happens, and his fate is never revealed, left for the inevitable 8th film.
I know who you are. I'm coming for you. And for him.
It's frustrating because interesting things are just sort of thrown into the flick that could have added depth or tension, but are cast to the side. For instance, when Nika meets Malcolm here and gives him a stick of gum, the film immediately cuts to them fucking in a stairwell. Their relationship never progresses past this point. It's just a throwaway joke.
Juicy fruit.
Same with Dr. Foley's character. It's implied that during Foley's hypnotherapy sessions, he rapes Nika, and that bringing her to this new facility was just to make this easier to do.
I've missed these little sessions of ours. Haven't you?
This detail is never fully addressed beyond being used for a couple of Chucky punchlines.
Holy shit! And they call me sick?
Even the flick's most compelling aspect, how there are multiple Chucky's killing people, is just brushed off and explained with a joke, like it's totally inconsequential.
A few years ago, I came across this groovy new spell on voodoofordummies.com that changed everything.
Cult of Chucky just spends too much time on frivolous scenes and not enough time building on some of the solid ideas it presents. The flick has plenty of Chucky, but I didn't learn anything new about Chucky, his backstory, or his motivations. I'm not really sure what Chucky wants at this point. He's shown to be able to effortlessly take over other people's bodies, which I thought was what he wanted, but he still tools around as a doll trying to get revenge. I don't see what the point of this film was. I mean, every movie is made to make money, but it should be earned with a worthy story to tell, and I assume when the creator of Chucky keeps coming back to his own franchise and won't give it to somebody else, he's got something new to say with each chapter, but I don't think that's the case with this flick. You know, I had mixed feelings about Curse of Chucky, but it felt like a good conclusion to the series, tying everything together in a bow. Cult of Chucky just raises new questions with no answers. Even Seed of Chucky answered the lifelong question, what if a killer doll had a family? Cult of Chucky isn't terrible and is nowhere near the worst entry in the series, Seed of Chucky, but it feels like unnecessary filler leading to a hopefully much better movie. I give Cult of Chucky a Tiffany out of Jennifer Tilly. A true classic never goes out of style.
Now I'm gonna go kill Andy. No, I want to kill Andy. I earned it. I've been through a lot today. You got to suck titty today.